All right, hey everyone. This is June. I have Chris with me,
Hi,
and
everybody.
this is the your market recap for June 21st. All right, let's go ahead and go into the market real fast. I'm looking at the S&P 500 here. We got a pretty tremendous day today. Nice gains over 1%. Now, if you look at the daily view here, you can see where the S&P is back up into this 20-day moving average, and not to mention that we are basically right underneath that 1300 level. And so there's a good chance that this was a prior support. It broke through and it can come back and act as new resistance. So watch out for that. Okay, the market can roll over from here, or the other thing is, if there's more bullishness to come, it might break through. Okay, so also be watching out for that as well. One of the things that I would like to see if I'm bullish here is maybe if it pulls back, forms some kind of a small base, and then if it breaks out, that would make for an ideal or good-looking base right there, or a good-looking breakout. Okay, so again, you want to see what kind of a bounce we have, and so far we got a pretty decent bounce. Especially today, we got especially getting above this 11280 level. Okay, this 1280 level has been acting as some pretty strong resistance, and the market also closed this gap right here. So that's also another, I would say, bullish sign, at least temporary bullish sign for the time being. Um, However, short-term wise, we are overbought. Okay, if you look at this hourly stochastic here, we are in short-term overbought. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow if we see either some sideways consolidation or a slight pullback, just to allow this 20-hour moving average to come down. And either that, so it can happen two ways. Either prices go sideways and this will eventually come up to touch it, or prices can come down and touch the 20 EMA also. So either way is fine. Basically, the market's trying to work out this extreme day of bullishness. Anything you want to add here, Chris?
Sure. That rising support line that was drawn, I believe, last week was actually broken yesterday. And we can see that once that line was broken, today would gave us bullish follow through. So we have a different change in trend now, where it was bearish, and then once that rising support resistance line was broken, I don't really want to say it's bullish, but I want to say that the selling is at least over short term, at least for now. And looking at this hourly view, it does look pretty bullish to me. I would just say that if 1280 is broken, then I would expect more fear and panic selling come into the markets.
Yeah, I mean, when we say bullish, I mean we're talking about short-term view. I'm not. I mean, by no means are we saying we're going to hit new highs from here. We're taking it one day at a time, and you kind of have to do that with this market condition. Just take it one day at a time, because things can turn around almost just instantly. But yeah, I think like Chris mentioned, if the sellers come back and retake and break down 1280, then that might be more selling to come. But even on this hourly view, you can kind of see that it was starting to form this higher low right here, right? And we define trends as lower lows and lower highs, and when the sellers weren't able to push past this previous low, that was a possible clue that there could be more buying coming in, especially when you see this little triangle here forming on the hourly view. So it helps to look at shorter term time frame to kind of break down overall what happened throughout that day. And so far it showed us a mini little triangle right here with that resistance at 1280. And as I mentioned, the market gapped over at 1280, which is a pretty strong sign. But like I said, it's a little bit overbought, so I wouldn't be surprised that we get some kind of a pullback. And just to go over some other indices real fast, pretty much the same thing with the Dow. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Not as strong, right? So technology hasn't exactly touched that 20-day yet. So if you were to play this bounce, I would definitely stay more towards the larger caps, like stocks that are within the S&P and Dow, and stay away from technology, as you can see the bounce isn't as strong. Even the small caps, a lot stronger, right? It's actually above, this is the Russell 2000, above its 20-day moving average, and it closed pretty well too. Usually, if the Russell is strong, that tells me the rebound's pretty strong, because I tend to look at the Russell as a stronger indication or a leading indicator, because you have over 2,000 stocks there as opposed to like 30 or a couple of hundred. So with all the small caps gaining over 2%, that's a pretty good sign for the time being, of course. And the wild card is tomorrow, where we have the FOMC announcement. So expect to have some kind of volatility tomorrow. So anything can happen, and also remember that usually I would wait for the next day to really see what happens with the market, because sometimes once the announcement comes out, it could just be a knee-jerk reaction to the news. But once the dust settles, the next day you can kind of get a better idea of where the market goes. So you don't want to jump too early as soon as the announcement comes. And I think I mentioned today on several forums that if you haven't bought already, I think it's kind of too late to be buying. Today's one of those days where if you bought earlier, today was a great day to take profit. And right now is the time to take profit. It's not the time to let your profit run. Letting your profit run was back here, right? Right now is not exactly that time. So you want to take some quick profits. If you have, heck, even something as simple as like $100, $200, I would just book it. Take it, especially when the market has an extreme bullish day like today. Okay, anything else you want to add, Chris? If not, we can just jump into the stocks.
The VIX?
Sure, we can just look at it real fast.
Sure.
Just go ahead.
Just to say one thing about the VIX was 20 was a nice resistance level that was broken last week. And when the markets came down, especially yesterday, to retest 20, we were expecting it to retest 20 as support. Broken resistance, now support, but it didn't do that. And then today, it actually gapped under 20. So we can see that volatility is, I don't want to say back to normal, but it's pretty quiet now in the markets, short-term wise.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned that whenever you have an extreme move in the VIX, like on last Thursday, you have to watch out for these. When the VIX starts moving into the mid-20s or something like that, that can tell you it's in the somewhat extreme bearish conditions. So, you always want to watch out for these little clues that the market gives you, and just pay attention, because there's clues everywhere. You just got to pay attention. What kind of stocks do you want to look at, Chris?
First stock I'm looking at they're mostly bullish. It's FTO.
Okay.
It had a nice breakout today above 32, and it's just, it feels like it's a little bit too late to be buying right now, but it does make to maybe some type of a spread, or, even if it chops around a bit for a couple days, forms like another little small base, it's going to be another thing to play to the upside.
Okay.
Next stock that I'm taking a look at is TU, TELUS Corp. And it just actually is in a squeeze, and it broke out today with today's nice white candle. So we can get some more bullish follow-through with a move above today's high.
Yeah.
And it also is in a nice, right there, right? Great, it's a squeeze. That's the best way I can say it. It's in a nice squeeze, and it just broke out today. So I expect more follow-through in this stock. All right, next stock is TIF, one of June's favorite stocks. I like how another nice white candle today. Right near, you can say it's a cup pattern right now, and I'm expecting it to actually side trend a bit to form like a little small handle. And once it gets that breakout, especially above today's high, it's going to continue to move up higher.
Cool.
The reason why I picked these stocks is because most of them look like they made a move already, but the market also has looked like it made its move today to the upside. So I'm a little bit wary right now on going super long. Maybe if the market helps relieve its short-term overbought conditions, these other stocks do that as well. They'll be good long candidates.
Awesome. I also have a few. Let's see here. One of the ones that I like is TSCO. I think I mentioned this. These are some of the stocks I mentioned yesterday in the Trade Alert videos. But this one I quite enjoy. Traded in and out actually today. But for those of you who are conservative, you want to wait for it to get above this 65 area. You notice how it stalled just a penny short of 65 today. So you can tell 65 is that resistance level. But overall, very nice looking base. Volume has been pretty good also. So and again, right, here's the thing, if it continues going higher, even if it breaks above 65, I probably wouldn't buy it because it looks pretty stretched out already. But if it forms a base, right, and then it breaks out, then I would much prefer buying that. All right, so there's a different type of breakouts. Just because it moves above 65, I won't automatically buy it. I want to see how it moves above 65. So TSCO is definitely on something that I want to watch. The other one is TEO. Now what's interesting about TEO is it also formed a nice long-term base. If you look at this on a weekly view, very nice looking base here that's forming right above this 50-week moving average. Last time it was here, it made a nice bounce, so the 50-week is providing some pretty good support. And what's also great about it is if we look back to its all-time high here back in 07, it stalled right at 26, and guess where we are right now? Right at the same level at 26. So 26 is going to be that strong resistance level, and if it's able to break above it, that tells me it's going to attract more buyers. And you can tell today it tried to break above 26. Right? Let's go into a 5-minute view. These are little things that you can see. You see how 26 was rejected almost instantly? So that tells me that traders aren't exactly ready to buy above 26 just yet. All right, so that means this stock can probably rest for a few days, if not more, underneath this level, which is great because I would rather have this stock rest here and then break out, as opposed to just plowing right through it. All right, so that's something I'm looking out for this stock, and I think this has great potential. Like I said, it's hovering just underneath that all-time high, and this is the third time it's doing so. And who knows, right? Third time's the charm. And I think let me give you guys something else. PRGO was also a good one. Again, it might be a bit late, nice gap up, but if it can base again, that could be good. And then one last one here is Exam. Exam, not too bad. It's a low floater stock. It's not exactly a high volume stock, but today, what's great about today is that it actually pulled in some pretty high volume. This is also in a volatility squeeze, and it's holding very well with this in this base here, and looks like it's ready to pop. And it depends how you draw your lines, right? If you draw a triangle, then sure, it broke out today. But if you draw a base, then it hasn't exactly broken out yet, right? So it depends on where you draw your lines that you can argue, well, it broke out or it didn't. And even so, it still has to contend with 26, which is the previous high. But I suspect if it breaks above 25, then 26 would be an easy target. So if you want that quick, quick in and out for $1, this could be potential play. But keep in mind, since it's a low volume stock, these can get whipped around pretty easily. Anything else you want to add, Chris?
No, that's about it.
Okay, cool. So I think overall, like we mentioned, just be nimble with this market. Like I said, we don't know if this is just an oversold bounce or maybe this thing can have some more legs to go. So I think if we get above 130, then that would be a better sign. But if it stalls around 130 and it looks like it's ready to roll over, then that might be some bearish sign. So again, take it one day at a time. That's all we can do. And that's it for today. So we'll talk to you guys again on Thursday.